While on a rescue mission in Basra, and unfortunately took my sight. But the bonus of that is that 6 people were saved that day. And like you said, the Remembrance today, it's an honour for me to represent my generation of brave men and women that sacrifice and serve the country, and just to be one of those and serve with dignity, sense of duty that I hope honours the memory of those that we remember today.
Thank you both very much, and we'll let you go and take part now in the March Past. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
The President of the Royal British Legion, Lieutenant General Sir John Kisley, with his wreath now. He won the Military Cross as a major in the Scots Guards during the Falklands War, when he was engaged in the battle to take Mount Tumbledown that opened the way to Stanley. And the Royal British Legion represented here because they do so much for ex-servicemen. Last year they raised £31 million, and I suspect this year they may have raised even more because of people's concern and worry about the families and the injured who return from Iraq and Afghanistan. So they organise the procession past the cenotaph and first lay these wreaths. Cecilia Harper for the Women's Section, Scotland, and the Royal Naval Association, the Royal Air Force Association, and the Royal Commonwealth Ex-Services League, and London Transport, Ron Howard at the front there. As they march back up Whitehall, the next event here is the start of the March Past. There are 210 different groups here this year, people united by service they did together and by the memories of that, and bound together by that comradeship as they were in time of war. You've only got to listen, as we have this morning, to these veterans talking to recognise the strength of the bonds that unite them. There's a good example from the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, who came back last week from Helmand Province in Afghanistan. Their tour had lasted 6 months, and they'd lost 7 men.
A regiment's not just a collection of individual soldiers. It's a group brought together under a common ethos. So when we lose one of our fellow soldiers, it's felt by everybody in the regiment, and we all mourn their loss as if they were one of our own family. Sergeant Simon Valentine was killed while on foot patrol near Sang in northern Helmand.
You can't really sum him up. I mean, he was just a fantastic guy, really. He's got a lot to do as the platoon sergeant. Always running around all over it, as he used to say. He used to sort of spend about 5 or 10 minutes with his hair on fire, and then eventually he'd get it all sorted, as he always did. And he used to come up to me and go, "See, boss, I told you, I'm awesome."
Sergeant Valentine, with his love of Superman and superheroes, all that kind of caper, like buying badges to wear out on patrol, wearing socks and boxers at Superman and superheroes. Other than that, he's definitely a great man, and if I could be half the man that he was, then I know I've done a good job in my life.
You could say that Val was your friend. He was truly blessed. To me, he was my best friend, and he used to always give his advice like any other friend, and he'll be truly missed.
Fusilier Sean Bush was attempting to rescue Sergeant Valentine when a second device exploded. He died of his wounds 10 days later.
He had been right at the front of the company finding improvised explosive devices and protecting his friends, and it was absolutely typical of the man that he received the injuries that were ultimately to result in his death, moving forward voluntarily into danger to help rescue somebody who'd already been hurt.
Fusilier Bush was a quiet, unassuming guy, very mild-mannered, nice tempo, nice temperament on him. He was always wearing his Coventry City shirt, which is an area where we recruit from in the West Midlands, and he was such a great, enthusiastic, keen sportsman.
Me and Bushy come quite close in Afghanistan. We used to go to the helicopter landing site with a can of pop and just sit and watch the sunset go down while talking about what's gone on. But at the end of it, he always used to say, "There's another day gone."
The battalion also lost Corporal Joseph Etchells, Fusilier Patero Susu, Fusilier Lewis Carter and Fusilier Simon Annis. Lance Corporal James Fullerton was killed in the same explosion as Fusiliers Annis and Carter.
He was a monstrously fit, robust, focused infantry soldier and junior commander. He was the individual who, faced with the worst possible circumstances, could be relied upon to rally the troops, get them facing forward again, and lead the charge with renewed vigour.
Many times I trusted him with my own life, and I had no hesitation in doing so. He was a man of sort of immeasurable moral and physical courage. He was a rock to his soldiers, and I know they all adored him.
As a friend, you couldn't ask for anything more. You know, he had a great sense of humour, but on the other hand, if you were feeling down, he'd always take it to one side and he'd always make you feel better. He was unique. He was an absolute gem.
We do have a saying in the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers that once a Fusilier, always a Fusilier, and we will never forget those we lost this year in Afghanistan.
Hennessy, who himself served with the Grenadier Guards. He was a captain with the Grenadier Guards until May this year. This year is so much more poignant in many ways because of the number of people that have been lost in Afghanistan this year alone.
Yeah, I think the video of the Fusiliers there showed it brilliantly. It's not remembrance as an abstract concept. Everybody here, we've been talking to guys up and down in the march past, myself, all my friends and colleagues, who are remembering real people, friends, loved ones, and I think that's what this day's about, really. Yeah, and I think that's what people who maybe aren't in the military don't understand. When you talk about, as the Fusiliers there did, 6 or 7 guys they lost, that's from a close-knit, small infantry battalion of 500-600 men. Everybody will have known those individuals. I knew the guys that died this week, and they will be greatly missed by those still serving and also those who had served with them in the past.
How much do services like today, though, mean to the people who are out there right now who are fighting these battles?
I think there's 2 things. It's the personal opportunity to remember and to reflect, but also the demonstration of support. And we've seen today has been hugely well supported across the country, and the guys back at home who might catch a glimpse of it on British Forces Broadcasting, they will get a boost from that, and they will know that they're being thought of at home.
It's also very important as well, isn't it, for the families of the people who have died. I mean, it must be very strange for you to be back here and to reflect on it like that.
Yeah, I think it's very weird for me this year because I'm back at home and I'm just sort of one of the other civilians stuck at home wondering what's happening and worrying about people I know. I think it's amazing to see the number of people out today who are not only wearing their medals but maybe their husband's medals or their father's medals. It's very much a family affair, and it's a great demonstration of support to the families to know that other people, the young people we've met who don't have any connection with the military but who have just turned out to show that support. I think that's great.
What is it like for you personally to be here today?
Oh, I'm just getting the mickey taken out of me by all these old guys because they've done so much more than I have. But no, it's wonderful. Again, you see another side of it, and back out in Afghanistan, they'll be focused on the job at hand. Out here, it's more of a chance to reflect. So.
Patrick Hennessy, thank you very much.
Every year a different organisation starts off this march past, chosen by the Royal British Legion somewhat haphazardly, but you can see 9,000 people. This is just part of them here. It was once estimated that if all the dead from the British and Commonwealth forces that served in all the wars from the First World War marched past the cenotaph here this morning, the line would be starting here in London and the tail end of it would be in it.